The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Give him back-to-back catches now. That one for 16 and another first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad.
Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the fourth, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion and a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
The Vikings on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 7. Throwing, Cousins. Got an open man, finding Jefferson. And the Vikings are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
That defensive front four has been very good. They have just not let the running game get going, have they?
Not at all. In fact, the entire offense just looking a little bit out of sync in this one.
Yeah, sometimes this is why coaches like 4-down defensive linemen, they feel like they can cover more ground when defending the run.
Cousins to throw it. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
This likely a must-have. 3rd and goal. Chandler. It looks like he's going to be stopped short of the first down by about a yard. This defense bending but not breaking. It's a gain of 3. It's now 4th and goal.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball on this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Commanders are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like... the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game, but give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
They'll start on the ground with Gibson, and he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. They'll run. It's Gibson. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 67 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Hitting Samuel on the slant. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Even against double coverage, he found enough of an opening for a noticeable gain. 2 guys on him, yet he finds a way to uncover downfield for the completion.
They'll run with Gibson. And Gibson looking for some kind of opening, but he has none. They rally up to stop him short of the marker. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds remaining in the football game. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down.
And now here is another interception. Picked off by Emmanuel Forbes. And the Commanders are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection, and now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Gibson again. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4. Well, this this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Commanders pick up the victory as we say so long from our nation's capital.
Telling them all that yesterday's price is not the same price. Eating up what's for breakfast, I can tell you what it tastes like. Wake up and I see red.